Hi my virgins! So, this is the look that we're gonna do in this video. Obviously, it's inspired by Gaga. I mean, this outfit, whew, and this makeup, deceased. So, this is what I've created. And if you're trying to say that I've copied, well, that's not the case because I wanted to do this, as you've already seen in the title.
Disclaimer, Vergine is not trying to copy Lady GaGa's look. She just likes it and wants to try a lot of new things she loves. So, if you're trying to copy her, say that she's trying to manipulate and fake a look and trying to create drama, you better never start. She assumes her position and looks at everything she does, except the moment when she decided to delete her worst Photoshop fail. Watch this video to see what she planned. This is a comic statement. She just trying to create ways to entertain you, and she's trying really hard. However, sometimes nothing works, but she's at least trying. Now, she's trying to say a lot of things just so this text can be long enough for this production show. So, let's get into the video, because she's out of work.
I'm gonna start off with my eyes. I've applied my foundation and my contouring, and now we are gonna focus the white foundation on my eyes. And I'm highlighting a little bit where I would usually highlight, but the thing is that I will try to keep it as much as possible on the center of my face, not moving it all around. I'm gonna use another part of my sponge, and this is another trick. The fact that, you know, we are messing up a part of the sponge, but we can use another one anytime we want. So this is another trick that you should be aware of. And with the powder puff as well, you can just reverse this, I don't know how it's called, and you have another part that's cleaner than the other. So pay attention next time, because you can use these tricks to minimize the effort and the time you're putting in your makeup routine. It's so funny how my lip moves when I'm doing this. So I will use my Coty Airspun powder in the shade Translucent Extra Coverage, and this one actually has a little bit of color to it, and I will actually use this all over my face except the parts where I've put in the white, and there I will use a white based powder, if that makes any sense. Yeah, it does actually. Now I'm gonna remove the powder that's sitting over my white areas. I will let the other part sit there and really let the foundation absorb, I think so, all the powder. Because suck is not such a nice word for this context. Now I'm gonna take the shade Glucose from Blood Sugar palette, and I'm gonna use it all over my eyes and under my eyes. Actually, let's talk about something, because I thought about this yesterday when I did my costume. The fact that for camera, you really don't need a lot of details in your costume, because camera is only receiving the front portion of it, it's not seeing the back. And I thought about this because when I'm making a costume for a show or for something like this, I'm really paying attention to every single part of the look, because people can see you from behind, from the side, and you really need to have everything perfect, because, well, Otherwise, the magic would not be there, and we all want the magic to be there because we want the magic. So I was pretty happy because I've realized that for camera, I don't need to do the back of the things. You really don't want to see the back of the things that I will wear later. Actually, you've already seen them because I cannot get used to this. The fact that you're already seeing what I've created before I'm seeing it, and it's so awkward and so twisted, and I hope I will get used to this pretty soon. And I really wanted to do this look for a performance, and actually it's so funny how I started to think about this look. The fact that in quarantine you don't have the opportunity to go and get whatever you want for your costume, or at least mine. I have to think about something that I have at home. So this is a little bit scary, and it's pretty hard to think about something when you have few things at home and only things that you use at other outfits. I mean, this is my case. I was sitting in my kitchen and I've seen this pizza box and I was like, wait a minute. And I started to think about it and I was like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Gaga. Gaga, yes, yes. This is actually my favorite outfit that Gaga wore. And I thought about something like, this is what I would do if I was on RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9 for the first ball challenge, I think it was. Yeah, it was the ball. Why am I always forgetting to turn my
freaking main light on?
I don't understand. Okay, so I've got these pulleys from when I was transforming Emil Rengla in drag. You have the link here. It was such a nice time, and I've got this for his mustache. That's how we pronounce it. Mustache. No, maybe. So I've got this for him, and actually I didn't get to use them because I didn't need them. So now they're gonna go on my lashes. So I've put it some Drug Lord on my spoolie, and let's try to oh, I love that. I freaking love that. I will do my other eye off camera and I will let them dry and put another layer on just so it can be as white as possible. So let me explain you a little bit what I did. I've put some foundation, white foundation over my eyes, and I've put some more white eyeshadow over it because I've discovered that around it, it's a little bit pale. Pale using white. Wow! I mean, it's not so intense. And I've put some foundation over my eyes just so it can be a little bit more intense only on my lid. And I've put some Drug Lord from Jeffree Star in my waterline and a little bit in my inner corners. And I've put another layer of liquid lipstick on my lashes. And this is how it turned out, and I love it so much. So much. I think this will become part of my videos because I'm always repeating words like really, or so. Yeah. So, right now let's contour our face a little bit because girl, she needs some contour. Actually, I will put a little bit of shadow under my eye, under my nose, and I want to go really soft with the colors on my nose because I've used a lot of white. I don't want to contour my face more than only around because, I don't know, with this look I feel like the white and the blush that it will come will be enough. Actually, I wanted to say this because I've started to use Photoshop to kind of finesse my photos, because with these lights, even though I'm filming with my iPhone, every single pore, every single thing, it's shown. And I want to be a little bit more subtle with my texture, and I started to use Photoshop, and it's my first time trying it, and I think I'm pretty good. No, I'm not pretty good. I'm decent. No, actually, not recently I've started. My first experience with Photoshop was this. So this was my first experience with Photoshop, and I'm really not proud of it, and I've deleted it from my Instagram because, well, I'm not so proud of it, but in the same time I really want to show it because it's so funny and because I'm laughing at it every time I see it. And this is a really great thing, to laugh at yourself, to have fun with yourself, to encourage yourself to be who you are. So if you can laugh at yourself, how in the beep you're gonna laugh at somebody else? Can I get an amen? Of course I can. So, off camera, I've put a little bit of foundation, a white foundation over my mouth. So what I want to do right now is this. I want to take a brush and I want to make kind of a liner here. Not so long, not so exact, but I want to make it like my eye is going out a little bit. Now I will take the shade Star Power from Beauty Killer palette and I will start to build my blush. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of red in this blush and on the tip of my nose and around my lips. And to blow out a little bit more the blush, I'm gonna use the same brush that I've used over my whole face. How can you be mad at her? She's so pretty, she's so nice, and yeah, she's perfect. She's beautiful, she looks like Linda Evangelista, she's a model. Did I stone those tights? Yes, I did. Even though I'm not wearing any tights, but I did stone some tights. Now, no, but I'm gonna do a beauty mark here. I don't know exactly why, but I've just seen this liner and I said,
Why not?
so I went off camera and I did my freckles. I promise that I will do a video about these freckles and how I do them, because you can do them as well at home. The thing is that it's really messy, like extremely messy. So now I want to go to my lips because I think it's the time. And now I will take a red lipstick and just do the shape that I want to do. And now I'm gonna use a really deep shade of brown to outline my lips. And I'm gonna put a little bit of white in the middle.
can't believe I did this.
Let me see if I can find a shade that it's matching my spot. I can't believe this happened. It didn't happen to me in really long time. It's really painful when something like this happens because you worked so much on your face and now something like this destroyed and it's everything, so it's really hard. And imagine that at some point this happened to me when I was going to a party. It was even more painful because, well, now I don't have to go anywhere, so it's like, meh, okay. Well, it's a little bit embarrassing, but in the same time, as I told you earlier, because we discussed about this, you should laugh at yourself because, well, this day was such a long day. Such a long day, and not because of the makeup, because the makeup went so smooth and so perfectly until now, but everything worked perfectly, except my phone and except my patience, because I was angry and, you know, every time my phone keeps turning off, it's saying your memory is out. After I transfer all my data and I'm starting to film, in 3 minutes it says, well, your iPhone is too warm and you need to let it cool. So makeup is great. I mean, this looks perfect. Not perfect, actually. Because
There is not such a thing as perfection.
we were doing our highlight. I did one right here because I didn't realize that my phone died, but never too much, so we can always put more. And this is what I'm doing right now, and I will keep doing, and keep doing, and keep doing, and keep doing. Now I'm gonna go with my lighter highlighter. This one it was Nefri from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and this one is Ice Cold. This one is a really light highlighter right here, even though we put it some, but as I told you already, never too much. I mean, you can never wear too much highlighter, as Pheromone says. I'm putting highlighter all over the white. For real, I really don't know why, but in the same time I'm like, yeah, I think it will look great, especially in photos. So, my face is done, and I'm gonna go and put on my outfit, and I will be right back! I'm such an idiot! So, this is my final look, guys. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, give a like, to leave a comment, anything you want. Just comment, I really want to keep in touch with you, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Vergine Santa Frida, and everything will be linked down below. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for reaching this point, and hopefully I will see you next week. Hopefully. So, thank you again. I love you. And until next time, take care of yourself, stay at home, and wash your hands. Kiss you. Mwah.